Israel is the only Jewish country in the world. It came into existence in 1948. Israel shares its border with four neighboring countries on three sides: Lebanon on the north, Syria and Jordan on the east, and Egypt on the south. It shares its border with Mediterranean Sea on the west. Arab countries never wanted to see Israel as a separate Jewish country, and this led to many wars. One such war was in 1967, known as Six-Day War. During this war, Israel was able to capture the Golan Heights very easily, and this fact would not have been possible without the information provided by Israeli spy known as Eli Cohen. Eli Cohen had been executed in Syria 2 years earlier, that is 1965, and he worked as undercover agent before he was captured. Ali Cohen is considered to be the greatest spy of Israel to this day. Now the question arises, who was Ali Cohen? What did he do? How did he become so great in the field of espionage? Before I start, hi, this is Manoj Singh Tawar, and I want to share with you a small story of a spy. Before I take you to the background, I want you to remember one name, that is Ali Cohen, who worked as an undercover agent for Mossad, carrying his pseudo personality as Kamil Amin Thabit. Now, who was Ali Cohen? Cohen was neither born in Israel nor in Syria. He was born in Alexandria, part of Egypt, in 1924 into a Syrian Jewish family. His father moved into Egypt in 1914 from Aleppo, which is a part of Syria. When Israel was formed in 1948, that time a Jewish family of Egypt began to migrate to Israel. In the following year, that is 1949, Cohen's family decided the same and they settled in Israel. Since Cohen was pursuing his electronic engineering, he decided to stay back in Egypt. According to Britannica Encyclopedia, Mossad was very much interested in Cohen because of his amazing grip on many languages, languages such as French, Arabic, English. And in 1955, Cohen also went to Israel to do a short course of espionage, and he returned the following year, that is in 1956. In 1956, there was a Suez crisis, because of which Cohen and other members were forced to evict Egypt, and they moved to Israel in 1957. 2 years after coming from Egypt, he married a woman named Nadia Mazad, who was an Iraqi Jewish. And before joining the Mossad in 1960, he worked as a translator and accountant. After joining the Mossad in early 60s, Cohen underwent a vigorous training for 6 months. He was sent to Syria via Argentina. How did this happen? Actually, after completing his further training, he arrived in Argentina, the capital of Buenos Aires, in 1961. He began his work as Syrian origin businessman by becoming Kamil Amin Thabit, and he made many contacts with the people of Syrian community settled in Argentina and won their trust by building friendship with high-ranking officials working in Syrian embassy. Among the high-ranking officials, there was one person named Amin al-Hafiz, who later becomes the president of Syria. During his stay in Argentina, he had made many new friends and he had told them that he wanted to settle in Syria as soon as possible. Fortunately, in 1962, he got the chance to go to capital Damascus and settle down there. And his contacts in Argentina gave him tremendous access to the corridors of power in Syria. Soon after the move, he began to convey the intelligence and plan related to the Syrian military to Israel. How Cohen used to obtain all this information? Actually, what was most famous about Cohen was his 17 girlfriends. Cohen used to organize very lavish parties, which included wine and women. These parties are meant to target the high-ranking military officers. The officers who did not believe in these temptations, they were targeted by honey trap. Honey trap is nothing but Cohen's 17 beauty used to hunt down these high-ranking military officers and used to obtain secret informations. Cohen's image was almost similar to a James Bond. Cohen's efforts in the field of espionage became still more important when there was exchange of power in Syria in 1963. The Ba'ath Party gained power, and the people in the Ba'ath Party were friends of Cohen since the time of Argentina. Actually, in 1963, there was a coup led by Hafiz, and he becomes the president of Syria. Hafiz had given full support to Cohen, and it was believed and said that he wanted to make Cohen as a deputy minister of Syria. Not only that, Cohen also got the opportunity to be present at the intelligence briefing, and also he was given a tour of military bases in the Golan Heights when there was a high tension between Syria and Israel over the issue of Golan Heights. During his visit to Golan Heights, he gave an idea to the military officers to plant eucalyptus trees, citing the reason that large military bases in the Golan Heights would be safe from direct sun heat. Surprisingly, he also gave money to plant those trees. It is said that in 1967 war, the information conveyed by Cohen related to eucalyptus trees and the military bases in the Golan Heights laid the foundation of Syria's defeat by the hands of Israel. Because of these trees, Israel got the help in locating the location of Syrian soldiers. He was clever, he was smart, but in the end he was caught. How? No doubt Cohen was having very strong grip on espionage, but he also had the glimpses of carelessness. In Israel, Mossad repeatedly used to instruct Cohen to be alert during radio transmission. Mossad had given instruction not to do radio transmission twice a day, but Cohen used to ignore these warnings again and again, and this became the reason for his end. Actually, in 1965, the Syrian military agency began to feel that some informer is stealing their country's information, and they sought the help of the KGB. KGB is nothing but it is a spy agency of the Soviet Union. What KGB did, KGB installed devices in Syria and Middle East. These devices began to monitor the radio signals moving out from Syria. And this way the officers got the clue of Cohen's radio signal and he was caught red-handed while sending the transmission. He was caught, he was tortured nearly for 1 month. And finally the military lawsuit was pronounced and he was sentenced to death. On May 18, 1965, he was hanged at the public square of Damascus. While hanging, his body was fully filled with anti-Jewish slogans. And now, today, he is considered to be the national hero of Israel. By this, my story ends. I hope you liked it. Next time, I'll come up with some unique story. Till then, take care and bye.